What is most? Why the F do you know that fact? Our local landfill will take your loved one's body and dispose of it for $35. Wow, you sure do have a lot of loved ones. Why? Yeah. If you have a shrimp allergy, you also can't eat cicadas. Probably the most innocent fact here, but chickens, hens, have an egg song when they lay an egg. It's like them yelling, "I just laid an egg. WOOOO." And then the other hens chime in yelling, "YAAS, she just laid an egg. WOOO." Farmers need to take care the hens are well fed, because if they decide to try eating an egg, they realize how delicious they are and will continue to do so. If the other hens observe this, they'll do the same. Chickens will also cannibalize under certain conditions. Farmers used to put red tinted glasses on chickens so they couldn't tell when a flock mate was bleeding, so they wouldn't attack the bleeding chicken. While these were sometimes referred to as rose tinted glasses. But this sadly isn't where that phrase comes from. An orgasm can stop hiccups. Thank you. With a username like Iron Spider Hulkman, you may not need to rush to thank him just yet. Saddam Hussein wrote a romance novel. Is it good? It's awful. There is a podcast called Behind the Bastards, TLDR. There is an episode called Saddam Hussein, erotic novelist. Male hedgehogs masturbate for pleasure, and you have to be careful picking them up, because sometimes they have semen on their feet. It's something you have to look out for when you're a hedgehog owner like myself. My girlfriend had one. All those cute internet videos don't show you how filthy these animals are. There's a reason there are so many videos of them bathing. Considering mine ate dog poop outside and self-anointed himself with it, I can say that it's true. Here's a cutie, though. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was a really popular novel and was made into a stage play. The actor playing the eponymous role Laurels was so good at switching from the good doctor to the evil Hyde that people wrote to the police claiming that he absolutely had to be the real Jack the Ripper, who was thought likely to be a qualified doctor based on the way he dissected his victims. They thought no normal person would be able to make such a transformation. What is the actor's name? Richard Mansfield. You can substitute blood for eggs in any recipe. 65 g of blood can be used in place of one regular egg. Perfect for the skin pound cake I just learned about. I can't stop laughing, thank you. You can neutralize the smell of a rotting corpse by covering it with the ashes of a common campfire. Any wood ash should work, friends. Hardwood ash will work. Softer, more resinous woods like pine won't. Licking marshmallows and sticking them on a car on a night below freezing will cause the marshmallows to adhere so strongly that, if they are removed while still frozen, they will take the car paint with them. Edit, if not of. Great. Now I know another tempting way to be an absolute prick to someone. Probably not what you're looking for, but 1 pound of sugar per 1,000 pounds of concrete will ruin the concrete, and it will never set firm. That's kinda cool. May even be useful in some situation. Edit. As commented below, it is useful in some situations. Usually when something is wrong with a truck or in a construction site, so it is easier to remove the concrete without it setting firm. Some people also mention sabotages during wars and in France. Comments diverge about the time. Either French Revolution, WW2 or 80s/90s. Broken down cement truck. I think some drivers even keep sugar on board. Urine is historically one of the biggest exports that Newcastle, UK ever had. It was used for a variety of purposes, especially for making ammonia to make paint. Is it also the secret ingredient for Newcastle beer? Please say no. Newcastle yellow. Don't ask what's in Newcastle brown. Most dying people don't just slow down breathing and stop silently like the movies. The agonal breathing they do the last few hours or minutes is often startlingly loud, but it makes their CO2 so high that they are unconscious and not suffering. It's just hard on the hearer. The last person who died building the Hoover Dam was the son of the first person who died building it. But did they bury him in that great tomb that knows no sound? In that case, he'd still be around. An important predator to the Canadian moose is the killer whale. The moose will swim over sea straits and get picked off by the killer whales. Moose can also dive up to 20 feet underwater to get at vegetation, which is a staple of their diet. They need the salt. If they keep diving for underwater vegetation, we are gonna end up with whales too. Zero in a couple million years. Ducks will duck anything. Girl ducks, dude ducks, dead ducks, blue ducks, heck, even a dog if it doesn't fight back. Sounds like a horribly wrong Dr. Seuss poem. One duck, two duck, red duck, dead duck. Nobody knew how the duck eels reproduce until 2015. I read this as nobody knew how to duck eels until 2015 and was going to commend them for doing the Lord's work in that field. Redheads require more anesthesia drugs to remain unconscious during surgery. We are also more prone to anemia and clotting disorders. Edit, I'm redhead. From a family full of redheads. I've got anemia, and my mom bleeds at even the slightest cut or scrape. Most of us bruise super easily. I've been known to wake up with new ones, and most of us require more anesthesia. I did when I got my wisdom teeth out. I don't know the exact science of it, but it's something related to the gene mutation that causes red hair in the first place. I'm sure someone who knows about the exact science bits can explain it better. I'm redhead. Have clotting disorder. Can confirm. That in WWII the United States designed bat bombs, basically canisters filled with bats strapped with incendiary devices. The idea was that you drop them over a Japanese city, which were largely wood structures at the time. The bats roost in attics and so on. Then after a certain amount of time they detonate. Soviets trained dogs as tank bombers, but in actual combat, they would go toward the tanks they had been trained on. Man's best friend, live fire. They say it's the particular smell of the Russian fuel that the dogs associated with rewards. Imagine this, you're walking down the road and you see a car crash. Someone gets out of a car and you realize it's someone you know. So you call their name. They turn and crumple to the ground. What happened? They dislocated a bone in their neck. And when they turned their neck, they fully snapped it. There's a bunch of stories of this happening to people, which is very scary. Can confirm. I was on an ambulance service and witnessed this at a very minor traffic accident. The gal had internal decapitation and had no pain, so she was walking around when we arrived on the scene to treat a different person who had gotten cut fairly badly by glass in the accident. She dropped in front of us and was confirmed dead at the addition. Internal decapitation is probably the scariest two words put together I've read in a while. Someone on Reddit said this on a post: rats constantly leave a trail of urine while dragging their tails. You can follow the trail with a red light. Apostrophe. Can confirm. I've had friends with rats as pets and they get pee everywhere. It's not a constant stream, just tiny drops here and there. Still pretty nasty though. Dolphins have been known to tear the heads off fish and use their corpses as cock sleeves to masturbate. They also chew pufferfish to get high. That's why they are always so ducking happy looking, just getting high as balls on neurotoxins and jerking off into some fish guts. Goddamn, what a life. If you feel the need to stab someone, stab oranges. They're the same consistency as human flesh. Edit. Thank you to all the doctors/nurses and tattoo artists who replied to this. A friend of my dad's randomly told me this when I was a kid, and I had so many questions. Newly diagnosed diabetics are sometimes advised to practice insulin injections on oranges instead of themselves. I know my parents did this instead of stabbing me unnecessarily as a T1 baby. I had a lot of questions when I first learned that fact. So thank you for that information. Not only is an elephant's penis prehensile, it's strong enough to throw a grown man around. Imagine being literally dicked around by an elephant. Edit. Apparently half of the people on AskReddit are zoophiles. Mayo. No, I don't think I will. If you put a needle into the gum line between the 7th and 8th tooth, you'll hit a nerve that runs past your nose and up to behind your eye. Hitting this nerve causes excruciating pain that no painkiller will help you with. You'll basically need to be given local anesthetic or put in an induced coma to stop feeling it. Nerve, pretty sure this is the trigeminal nerve. Women, almost always women, who suffer from trigeminal neuralgia often undergo needless root canals to end the pain. Only for the pain to not stop or get worse. Thus begins a cycle of anti-seizure meds, brain surgery, facial surgery. It's a brutal diagnosis for those unlucky to get it. I think this is the end of internet for me today. It's illegal to be intoxicated in a bar in Alaska. I won a trivia game at work because I happen to know this obscure fact. The lady organizing it accused me of cheating because no one had ever known the answer to in which state is it illegal to be drunk in a bar. I've known it for so long I don't even remember where I learned it. Edit. Holy karma. I don't think I'd like a quiz where you get accused of cheating just for answering a question correctly. The woman administrating the quiz game was the senior legal counsel for our division, and in her defense no one had ever known the answer during the game. And she was joking. Partially. There was no formal inquiry, and I still have my job. It takes approximately 140 bananas in one sitting to kill someone. By inserting them, or what? Probably an overdose of minerals. Theoretically, you can die from banana-induced radiation poisoning, except you would need to eat 40,000 of them. You need approximately 23.6 kilograms of anthracite coal to burn an average human male, 80 kilograms, at cremation temperatures. The farthest fall for a human being to survive without a parachute is 300 feet. How? Farthest fall for a human being to survive without a link. Wikipedia. org/wiki/VESNA_VULOVI%C4%87. Long story short, lots of luck. Got stuck in part of the plane that fell into a soft spot of trees and such, and low blood pressure helped, because that helped to not make her heart literally explode. Yes, hearts exploding because of the pressure of an impact is apparently a thing. Best of all, she was temporarily paralyzed and in a coma for a bit. Yet after she eventually recovered, she still wanted to go back to work as a flight attendant. A whale dick is the size of a human. What a dork. 3 barley corns laid end to end is the basis for the inch. The barley corn is also the basis for US/UK shoe sizes. A size 12 is 12 inches long, and each size different is 1 barley corn, 1/3 of an inch, different in length. Edit. Guys, I'm not doing every permutation of quirks between the systems. The key thing is that one size difference is 1 peppercorn different. Be it US, UK, men's, women's, adults or kids. So, if you accidentally buy shoes a size too big, simply put a row of barley corns in the toe and they'll be a comfortable fit. Snakes have 2 penises. Echidnas have a 4-headed one. Anyone else read Enchiladas? The Atoro people of Papua New Guinea believe that their gods gave their tribe a finite amount of semen in ancient times, and they have passed on their stockpile of precious semen from man to boy for generations since. Do they have a major taboo about male masturbation then? Yes. Any wasting of semen is a bad thing that shortens your life. Even sex with your wife. One must be very careful. I broke my collarbone and had to have physical training to strengthen it. They had me squeeze some equipment to measure my grip strength. I hit 140 lbs. He said, holy crap. That's great. You know, it only takes 50 pounds to strangle someone. My first question was why the /////// do you know that? One hand or both? Better use both. Just to be sure. Horses can masturbate by hitting their 70 centimeters long dong against their bellies. That explains that scene from Rob Schneider's movie Animal. Rob Schneider is a stapler. The defense mechanism of the sea cucumber is to eject its toxic internal organs out of its anus, causing the predator to eat them and die. Also, they reproduce by having the female shoot out the egg cell and the male shooting the sperm at it. Skeet shooting. Skeet skeet Matherducker. Hedgehogs shit when they run fast, therefore, if Sonic the Hedgehog was real he would shite himself to death. Edit. These were my first rewards. I cannot thank you kind people enough. Why do I think he eats so many chili dogs? #OH my god. The kangaroo is the only animal whose testicles are located above his penis. As for why I know this, I went down a YouTube rabbit hole one day and found a video link B/K9 B9X2EA3E which answered all the questions I didn't know I had about the pouches that female kangaroos have for their babies. At one point, the guy who made the video, who's American, was feeling around trying to find the pouch in a kangaroo. He couldn't find it, but commented that something felt weird. Later, he was talking to a local who shared that wonderful nugget of information. And suddenly it all made sense. What he was feeling. That felt so weird. I have more weird tidbits about Kangaroo Generalist, by the way, but that one is definitely my favorite. Of course it's upside down. They're in Australia. You can fit 8 250 pounds, intact, human bodies, supine, in the back of a 2001 Subaru Outback wagon. Fold down the back seat and toss them in. Source: moved training dummies for an army first aid class. Got pulled over because a hand was out and reaching. Sheriff walked up, saw the dummies, laughed and told me to have a nice day after explaining the call. Edit: after talking to a buddy who helped me unload them and going over the math, he thinks the dummies weighed closer to 185 pounds than 250 pounds. Edit 2. They were close to 250 pounds after kit and such was applied to the dummy. Everyone who is so angry can calm down and stop yelling at me. It was 7 years ago or so, if I remember correctly. I've had a few blows to the head since then, and the memory isn't what it once was. Edit 3. To everyone making this about race. No, I'm not black or white. I'm Latino. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.